Hey guys, it's Stir. I just saw Shazam. It's the newest installment in the DCEU. Let's talk about it. And I want to talk about it because, oh my god, this is a good movie. And there's a reason why I'm chuckling. Okay, so initially when I saw the trailers for this movie, I thought, oh, this looks like a lighthearted, charming, awesome superhero movie. I was really optimistic about it, and I thought maybe it would just be like really lighthearted and stuff, like Spider-Man Homecoming. But oh man, this movie is really dark. And I don't mean that like as if it's edgy like Batman or on the same serious level as Wonder Woman or anything like that. When I say dark, I mean like in its origins, in its characters, in its humor, its comedy. This movie is really fucking funny. Okay, like whenever there's like a really clever comedy movie that I'm watching or like a really clever joke in a comedy that I'm watching in the theater, I always think, oh, I might like share a little laugh and be like, oh, that was clever. That was some good executed timing. With this movie, I was honestly like, I was laughing out loud in the theater. I usually don't do that. This movie legitimately made me fucking like roll on the ground laughing. It's really fucking funny. There are a lot of adult jokes in this movie, and I was shocked. There's a lot of like swearing in it too, and I don't mean because Spider-Man Homecoming had swearing and stuff. That's nothing surprising. It's PG-13, but I mean like the dialect that these kids say. It's really realistic, to be honest. It's like the Goonies. It reminded me of like it's like a cartoonish comic book version of like a movie like the Goonies, and it's really good. I don't want to spoil too much, but one example that's kind of in the trailer that I'll talk about is that there's a scene where they go to like a pharmacy, and then since he can turn into Shazam, he can like buy beer now because he looks like an adult. He doesn't need the ID and stuff. There's a joke about that that's really funny, but it gets far beyond that, and I really don't want to spoil the comedy because you're gonna be laughing your ass off when you see this movie, and kids are going to eat this shit up. Okay, when I was a little kid, I was really defiant. I was really against my parents and stuff, and used to think that like, oh, I don't need a family because I can stick up for myself. And I used to think that too when I was little because I was an asshat, a little shit. But this movie, like I used to always think like, oh, what if I became like a superhero or an adult? Then they wouldn't have to boss me around. Like every kid has had that feeling at some point, right? I can't be the only one. The kids are going to eat this shit up. It has a really good moral about that too, and the main character has a really, really dark origin story, which kind of shows the lightheartedness, the heart of this movie. It's not like completely dark humor, like satire or anything. It's just, it has black comedy to it, but it surprisingly balances the heart of the film, the darker comedy, the darker origins, and I mean like dark. There's death. There's a joke involving death towards the beginning of the film. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling. And it's a 2-hour movie, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels kind of short, but it's not god awfully bad where like you just feel disappointed because of how short it is. Like, I don't know, the Happy Time Murders or anything. No, it's really good. It feels fleshed out. It's worth your time. It's worth seeing. But no, I really love what the main character goes through, the growth that he goes through in this movie. I really love the characters. I love his not sidekick character, but like his essentially sidekick, yeah. I really don't want to spoil this because the climax is shocking and really cool. I like the message about family that it has. I like the family itself. They're all going through things and or like have different things in their personality that like for example, you have one girl that's trying to get through college and she's kind of struggling with that. You have this disabled kid who's like getting picked around and bullied a lot, and like the way that Shazam when the kid turns into Shazam, when he like attempts to go against these bullies and stuff and kids picking on the disabled kid, it's really heartwarming, and it's really heartwarming how the family cares about him. And it's really cool to see this kid turn into Shazam and like him and the disabled kid trying to figure out like what it really means to be like a superhero and what you should do as a superhero. It's so good, and it's so refreshing to see DC finally make good movies again. It's great. I love this movie. I'm gonna make this video short because I really don't want to spoil things. It's still kind of a new film. Go see it. It is awesome. Please. It's great.